All right, and we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Buttery Fresh episode number 7. My name
Fucking
is
007.
7, bro.
007.
007. We are the James
God.
Bond of episodes. here.
Jesus, man.
Congratulations, fam. We made it.
Hey, look, ma, I made it.
As I was saying, welcome to the Buttery Fresh episode number 007. My name is Martin, aka Wookie. I'm joined as always by my co-host Jeff, aka Splice,
What the fuck is up, bitches?
and Brendan, aka Evo.
It is I. Hello, hello, hello.
How you guys doing today? How's your week been so far?
Uneventful, yet eventful at the same time.
Yeah.
It's LA County lockdown and lots of dead roads out there and grocery stores practicing social distancing, as well as a one in, one out at every store that I've been to thus far. The local Walmart neighborhood market, Vaughn's grocery store, and a vape shop that I've been to all have a one in, one out situation. Yeah, and they're taking it pretty seriously, dude. However, down on the boardwalk in like downtown LA or like Ocean Avenue, I've seen a lot of pictures and videos of people crowding around like it's Panama City on spring break. So, it all spreads one way or the other. But luckily, I got my little respirator here. I wear it every time I go outside. Not only because it's safe, but I also look like a badass. Okay,
Like to scare small children.
yes. So I get my cowboy hat here with the mask.
Now you look like
And
you're
then
ready to paint a house.
And then I have my aviators are in the kitchen, but then I have my aviators on. I'm like, dude, what? I look like a total boss. Get out of here.
Mowing your lawn in your underwear, respirator, cowboy hat, some fucking cowboy boots.
Well, that's all accurate except for I don't mow the lawn, but everything else is spot on.
No, but you do your like, it's like, you get home, it's a little bit late at the night, and you do your full perimeter walk. You walk inside, you take off your pants, you grab your Glock, you grab a glass of scotch, and then you do a
1911.
walk around the perimeter, cock
You
block
have
walk.
both.
I have both. I just go akimbo, okay?
I equipped the akimbo perk in a
Yep, I
fucking
have the
duel.
akimbo perk, dude. I got my 1911, got my fucking my Glock 23, and then I got my shotgun with my sling over my shoulder. Let's go.
It's a full
Perimeter
loadout.
walking.
It's a full fucking
It is
loadout.
a
And I mean,
full loadout. I can't have any
listen.
attachments or like accessories. Like no flash or grenade for me. All my slots are full. The
You
point
got the full
system has been
backpack and
utilized.
Tarkov already?
okay, and that's
Oh,
fine.
dude, yeah, absolutely.
That's fine. But if you parachuted on an island and you started with those three things, you'd be fucking happy.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
like, let's
yeah,
just
yeah,
be real.
Yeah. You're right. So I feel that I'm more prepared than the average American was.
Mhm.
Not so much with food. As you guys know, and some viewers or listeners might know, I moved to LA County about almost 4 months ago already. Fuck.
I can't believe
But
it's been that
we
long.
had
already.
a
Dude, I
large
know.
storage of like food before we moved out here, but you can't bring perishables when you move fucking literally across the entire country. So we gave all of our food away to some friends that were in need. So I mean, when I say a lot of food, I mean like it was a lot of food. Like probably if you were to go to the store and buy all the food that we had that we gave away, at least a couple $100 like worth of food. If
Just
not
chilling.
300. Yeah, I mean canned goods, dude. Like so many canned goods, man. A lot of frozen like organic beef from like Costco, like the nice cuts of ground beef that you can get. Or steaks. We had all those too. I had so much chicken in there, dude. It was an ass load, and we gave it all away. So when we moved out here and this whole COVID thing started, and all the grocery stores are running out of everything, we don't really have that much. We had some. We had some. We have a second fridge in the garage over here, and we had a good bit, but not to last a week straight or a couple weeks straight. You know what I mean? Without going crazy, at least. So having to go to the grocery store with my mask and cowboy hat and aviators felt like a fucking badass. But I did finally, however, find toilet paper, the holy grail of all the things. So,
tell me about that. Tell me more about that. I never thought I'd ask another man about what it was like to be able to find some toilet paper.
I don't know. It's like a
He sent me a picture. He
It's
literally sent me a picture of it in his cart. He was that fucking happy about it.
I was like, God, send it to Jeff. Send it to Jeff.
Mr. Jeff, Mr. Jeff.
My name is Jeff. But it's like some bamboo, like special organic fucking, I don't know, toilet paper, California, hippie bullshit.
Fucking bamboo.
Some grain.
I don't remember what it is. I'll get it by the end of the show and
that's
show
awesome.
you, man.
Some
But I'm just glad I found something to wipe our holes with. Kind of similar to like, the same types of buttholes that cats would have in the Cats movie that they haven't released yet.
So I was gonna say, last week we were trying to be kind of lighthearted because the world's all fucked up or whatever, but like tonight we're gonna have, because it's getting more and more fucked up, it's time, like we've got to get a little bit more serious, and I wanted to kick that off with the butthole cuts. Fucking Cats, the movie, to start the seriousness off, because why the fuck would you make CGI buttholes on the already creepy ass cats in this movie? Like, I know, it's celebrities. It's Jason Derulo. It's Taylor Swift. People probably want to see their buttholes.
I mean,
but
I'd want to see Taylor Swift's butthole. Admittedly.
there you go.
I mean,
there we go.
Fucking words anymore.
Oh shit.
Say buttery fresh. We keep it honest.
Hey,
So,
man, you're right.
but I mean, these people are rallying for this CGI butthole edition, and they're calling it the butthole cut, which just sounds like a fucking really bad sandwich.
Or a really bad injury. If you accidentally sit on a knife, okay, that's the butthole cut. Like,
yeah, I mean, or
I'm sorry, you meant the Cats movie? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Different kind of party, bud.
It's a different kind of party, bud.
Phrasing.
So, I don't know. I have, like, one of my problems with this is, like, I understand why people want to see it. That's fucking fascinating. Like, that the fact that somebody would make this is fascinating to me. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, well, now I know why this bombed so bad, because the people that created it at some point during production thought, let's put CGI buttholes on every one of these fucking cats. Wookie, what does a cat say, Wookie?
So here's my take on all of this.
We had to get it out. Wookiees are the raddest in the land.
I realize now that, like, we started talking about this 15 minutes ago. We were having our little, like, pre-session session, and I didn't realize this was an actual thing. I thought it was just a meme floating around on the internet.
Yeah, Jeff just makes shit up. I get it.
Right.
Hashtag fake news.
Yeah, and so my whole take on this right now is this: is like, I completely understand the appeal behind the butthole cut, because it provides realism to a movie that they already put, like, somewhat realistic CGI cats into. How many people here have cats? One of us. Okay, I did growing up.
I have
how many
4.
How many times do you see your cat's butthole per day?
Quite often, and it is gross. Okay,
there you go.
Like,
see,
crusty shit all over it, and you just see, like, ugh.
How am I to watch?
Go wipe that, dude.
The CGI
You're fucking dingleberries, bro.
It's fucking nasty.
To watch the CGI rendition of cats without some, like, starfishes in there, like, realism, immersion ruined. 100% immersion ruined.
Oh, because the realism wasn't ruined when they started singing, dancing.
No. Clearly, you've never owned a cat,
dude. I've seen Cats, and I'm
the movie.
A big fan.
You've seen the movie?
No. I'm sorry. At the
Fox
play. Theater in Atlanta.
The play.
I have been and seen the actual. I mean, this is like last.
I thought
year.
you were talking about an actual cat. First of all, when you started this thought, I was like, "Fucking tell me more."
And it was. I'm not a fan. It is out there. My wife's a big fan. You either love it or you hate it. There's no middle ground at all. However, I love Phantom of the Opera, so I was like, "Yo, Andrew Lloyd Webber, what could go wrong?" No, dude, it is not
not your thing.
It was very, very weird. If you haven't seen it, I wouldn't. To me, it is incredibly overrated. The movie, when I first saw a trailer, I was like, that could actually be pretty cool.
Maybe about your phrasing here.
Maybe
you were thinking really hard about how to say that.
Yeah, I mean, again, Andrew Lloyd Webber, dude, like he is a total fucking badass.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, Phantom of the Opera and Love Never Dies, Phantom of the Opera sequel. I've seen both. At the Fox Theater, and they are incredible, dude, especially if you have the right production and they have like the sets done the right way. Like when we saw Phantom, the entire stage would rotate, like, so they'd be like walking upstairs and the entire stage would rotate, so it seemed like this huge, like, massive castle wall. I mean, the production was incredible, dude. It was probably one of the I've seen like a lot of plays. Hands down, the best play was Phantom of the Opera. And maybe it was because it was Phantom of the Opera, or maybe it was because of the production team, or maybe it was both. But it was incredible. So going into Cats, I was like, this can't be bad. It can be
no, because like one of our viewers is saying, it's a classic.
It was bad, dude. Like very annoying. All the songs were incredibly annoying. It was cool seeing the acts on stage. I mean, the talent was definitely there, and so that was the one enjoyable part. The singing was off the chain. I mean, again, sheer talent had me entertained, but for the story,
story,
it was, and the songs were just. Maybe I hear those songs again.
Well, and that's
one of our viewers actually just asked, did the chandelier fall from the auditorium? I'm assuming you mean when we saw Phantom of the Opera. Yes, and we were on the seats. It was second or third row from the very, very front middle, and we looked up, and the chandelier fell and stopped about 3 feet from the top of our heads. From the top of the Fox Theater, which is incredibly high.
Yes,
but it's all part of the show. And it was fucking amazing. It was absolutely incredible, and it scared the shit out of me. I was like, guess I'll die. I mean,
I guess this is me now.
I'm dying suited up like James Bond. TBF 007, by the way.
So, you know what? I have to bring it up just because we're talking about movies and we're on episode 007 right now. What are you guys' thoughts on this new Bond movie that's going to be coming out?
I know nothing about it. I don't know.
Okay,
so I haven't even seen the trailer, dude. They dropped a trailer, right?
Yeah, they did. It's fucking
I've literally
it's James Bond, of course. It's money.
Okay, so confession time. I never saw a single James Bond. My first exposure to James Bond was GoldenEye on Nintendo 64. Like, I literally never saw a James Bond movie before that. Playing that game was like, it wasn't, for whatever reason, it wasn't something that I like grew up watching. And I think I saw GoldenEye the movie. I think I saw maybe 2 of the Pierce Brosnan movies, and I've seen Casino Royale. Right, that's the first one that Daniel Craig did.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Those are the only Bond movies that I've ever seen. Now, the fact that Rami Malek is in this one makes me want to go watch the rest of the Daniel Craig ones to prepare for this one, just because I love Rami Malek that much.
They're good. Daniel Craig is the best Bond, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Next, that really just comes down to personal preference and taste. To me, and obviously, Daniel Craig is the best.
I will give love to Sean Connery any day of the week.
Oh, of course,
because he's the man.
I mean, it's fucking Connery, dude. Yeah, of course.
Pierce Brosnan's best movie is Mrs. Doubtfire, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
They are good movies. It's I mean, It's not
It's an
like the
action
be all
movie. You
end
don't
all
go
of
there-
movies. Yeah, it's
Right.
like you know how it's gonna end.
Right. Like you don't go watch Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible for the love story.
Mission Impossible.
I'm still Sean Connery.
You just don't
Just the rest of the evening. That's what we're gonna get.
But like, I mean,
Oh,
I think
man.
that the one thing that I love the Bond franchise. Like, I love Ian Fleming as well. I've read all of his works for the most part. And like, there's something about the Bond series that for me, like, you know, Daniel Craig is my generation's Bond. You know, like his Casino Royale came out in what, like 2012 or something like that when I was graduating from high school, maybe 2008 when I was getting into high school, whatever it may be. But I like vividly remember going to the theaters and seeing that movie and like being fucking mind boggled by like the standard of action movies and how action movies kind of should be made.
The
'cause
Bond
there's so
movies
many bad
always
ones.
deliver, dude. They
Yeah.
always deliver in that
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah, even the old ones hold up, except for what's that fuck's name that did them in like the like
What's that fuck's name that did those movies?
the guy before Pierce Brosnan.
Let's see.
Oh,
no clue. Mr. Bean?
May as well have been. They kind of look similar, actually.
yeah, I know you're talking about. I remember his name because he was unimportant, obviously.
Right, but they all
yeah,
hold up
yeah.
even to this day. Like you can go back and watch like the Sean Connery cuts, and they're fantastic. Like they still hold up, you know. Like you get a little bit of your like, you know, old movie vibe from it, but they're still great. But like in my opinion, I think like the Bond franchise kind of holds the torch for like the standard of action movies and like exactly what you expect to go, because like, you know, like everybody knows what the demographic of like action movies is. Like just give them what they want, you know, like some gratuitous explosions,
action.
right? Some
Well,
gratuitous
it's
explosion,
kind of like
a
that,
tasteful side boob, if you will.
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all-
There's
Yeah.
the side of a butt cheek right there.
Right,
Oh,
right.
those two are fucking cool.
Right,
And
right.
then
Dude,
oh,
it's
the
like
end, the close friend or the girlfriend dies, and then the main guy
There's a new
kills
one.
the bad guy, and
Yep.
credits roll. You know,
And the bad
then-
guy's got the scar. Always. The bad
Oh,
guy's always got
always
the
gotta
scar.
have the scar, dude. You
Always.
always gotta have, or a European accent.
Oh, you mean from like Hans Gruber? The bad guy.
There it is. It's
damn.
one or the other, dude. It's kind of like that one movie that Netflix just randomly dropped. It was
Ridiculous Six. Or no.
Six Underground.
Six Underground. Yeah.
Sheer action movie. It was
Yeah.
fucking awesome, but
Yep.
you knew how it was gonna end. Except for the guy that died in the very beginning. I was really sad because I'm spoilers. I don't give a fuck. Dave Franco. I fucking love Dave Franco, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he is so cool. I'm
Nobody's
kind of,
allowed to be that good looking.
dude.
That's what I'll
I'm
say
just
about it.
saying, like,
Dude, it's just the talent is just in the family.
it's in the family, dude. It's being a Franco is what it's all about.
Dude,
okay?
I think
And
James Franco
something
is
that we should all
so
aspire for.
underrated. Like, I think that James Franco is very underrated.
Both,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it hurts my heart to not see Dave Franco in more things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let alone James Franco. But
Yeah, we watched.
James
watched the
Franco
interview
stays
last
pretty
night.
hurts
busy.
my heart. I don't care. Fucking poke fun at me. I don't give a shit.
We watched the interview last night again. We watched it when it first came out. We watched it again last night, the one where he goes to Dave Franco and Seth Rogen go to North Korea to interview Kim Jong-un.
I still have never seen it.
It's like one of the stupidest fucking movies you'll ever see, but you'll get a good couple laughs out of it. And like even in something like that, I think I love James Franco. I like Dave Franco less so than James Franco personally. But like Seth Rogen and James Franco together, I think are like one of the best dynamic duos in comedy nowadays. Like in their films,
Absolutely.
their chemistry is fucking
Absolutely.
incredible, and they're like actually really good friends, so it works out.
Well, yeah, because they sit around and smoke weed together
There's-
and come up with movie ideas.
Eat every day.
Really, is that all?
Uh,
it takes?
I heard,
You
Seth
just gotta get high,
Seth
bro.
Rogen.
That's it.
Seth Rogen was actually on a local radio station. They were like interviewing him, And they legit asked him about like the whole like smoking weed thing, and they're like, there's this stereotype that you just smoke weed all the time. Like, is that true? And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. He's like, I'm high right now, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's like talking on the radio station, and he's like, I'm high talking to you right now. But they literally just sit around and just smoke weed all the time and come up with fucking movie ideas for real.
Man, imagine being a millionaire.
Oh man. So, we've talked about, not even on purpose, like it was never something that we like planned ahead of time, but somehow we've always come back to GameStop every episode, always for a completely different fucking reason.
Oh my god, it's all about the content, dude.
And like, dude, they just
you can't make this shit up.
No, they keep spoon feeding us fucking
idiots
content. So like, I don't know if any of you follow us on Twitter at the Buttery Fresh. Then you may have seen the tweet that we put out where we were basically like bashing GameStop because they announced that they were essential because people are stuck at home and they have to have video games because we can't download them. We have to go to their stores, so they made they were making it
credit
mandatory for employees to come to work and whatever. So we kind of slammed them, as did everybody else, because like there's nothing about that retailer that's essential. And even before COVID-19, there was nothing about that retailer that was essential. So I mean, you can get pop figures anywhere.
Been essential since probably 2010.
They haven't been essential since me and Brendan left. That's basically that's it.
It's true.
Like, that's the only reason that you should have come there is because we were there. But so now they legit they were told like, no, like fuck you, you will close your stores. So now they've like had to backtrack and they are actually closing all their stores. Which like, good for them, even though somebody forced you to do it.
Yeah, they were definitely forced. At least that's what the guy told us out front when we went to go pick up my wife's copy of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Because the day before, like my wife and I, we called that GameStop. It's like, hey, you guys are not having a midnight release as we asked you the other day when we pre-ordered it, because my wife wanted like the cute little notebook that for a pre-order bonus or whatever, and she knew she was gonna love the game anyway. I know. Oh, don't pre-order. Like, there's some games, dude, that like, you're gonna buy it full price.
You're gonna play the hell out of it.
You're gonna binge the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
she's already put in like 50 hours in this fucking game. It came out like 4 days ago.
Jesus.
But we like drive up like right when they're opening after we left the Turner's Outdoorsman. We were gonna go try to get ammo, but that's a whole other story. We couldn't buy anything.
Oh, we're gonna get to those other.
We're gonna get to it.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that story.
Hang on to your britches, boys and girls, because it's gonna be a rowdy ride. All right. So anyway, we roll up and like we're assuming it was like the store manager. You can never tell with those GameStop fucks, and we walk up and like GameStop, Jeff, I know for a fact, like you have like the glass windows, you get the front door, and then behind that you have the gate, because they always lock the gate that like pull from the side. I think it is. You don't pull it down.
Pull it down. It depends. Every store, the different stores had different setups.
Tell me more about how to break into my local GameStop, please.
It doesn't matter because they're not going to survive this. They will never open back up. Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, we just I literally got off the phone with my boss and got instructions from, the governor, like, we're not essential or whatever, whoever the fuck in the government that was issuing, the like, instruction to not be fucking open and take 30-cent trade-ins for Madden 2018s. So it is what it is. So we just went to Target, and luckily Target still had copies, but he only had like 2 copies left of Animal Crossing. So I'm just glad that there was something for my wife to do for 3 days, morning to night, which was play Animal Crossing. It's amazing, by the way, for those of you that are all about that. So
10 out of 10, 100% recommend that game. It's fucking fantastic.
If you like to do digital chores.
Which, yes, that's exactly where I was going with this. Is like, the game is fantastic. So for me, I have a very controversial take on it because I'm a time traveling scumbag in that game. Which means that like Animal Crossing is meant to be played like 3 times a day in short bursts of like 30 minutes. Like, you can 30 to 60 minutes, you can accomplish essentially everything that you're supposed to do in like your daily quests, so on and so forth in the game. but I don't have the attention span to keep on coming back to the same game like 3 times a day. Like wake up, like, oh, I gotta fucking check my crops, you know?
Yep. That's really how it is. I mean, it is a village building simulator.
Yeah.
Farming 5 different types of fruits and like crossbreeding flowers and like it's
okay. So
it's so simple, but the simplicity has incredible amount of layers. Like
the game goes as deep as you want it to.
Because I've never played it, so I see people debating the like time traveling versus not time traveling, and I didn't really understand 100% what it meant.
It follows like your system date and time.
So it's literally on a 24-hour schedule.
Yes.
But you can time travel a whole like to nighttime or like an hour or two at a time.
What I do is like I'll start it off. Well,
you literally just change your system time.
Yeah.
That's the time travel thing.
Yeah.
Like you go to your system settings for your Switch, and then you just change the time.
So your system, so the console thinks it's like so. Right
that
now,
is like so much extra work.
It's 3 button clicks. 4.
Yeah. Some people do it. Some people don't. I mean.
But it's for
but there's like so much
clicks.
like you're exploiting the mechanics and the system, but there's still so many months of filled with hours, filled with a year plus daily of things to do in that game.
Right.
And
the other big thing to keep in mind with all of it is that the Easter event or whatever is supposed to be starting on April 1st. I can't just set my Switch clock to April 1st and start participating in those events. Like that's still based off of like the time that's linked with your Nintendo Switch account or your Nintendo Online, whatever the fuck their service is called account.
Right.
But for me, like I'll start off like, okay, so I bought the game on Friday and I like went through like everything that I could do at that time. And then I put it down until the following morning. And then like I did whatever I wanted to do in the morning. I switched to the afternoon, got like whatever afternoon tasks, because everything that you do throughout the course of the game, whether like insects that you're catching, fish that you're catching, so on and so forth, it all changes throughout what time of the day it is, what time of the season it is, what time of year or what season it is.
Okay, so like you could not just play this game like every night after work because you would only have access to the same shit every day for the most part.
Could. Yeah, I mean, you can still.
Like you can get everything done that you want to, but like, for instance, for me, like I'm a completionist. I want to catch every type of insect. And so for that, like I have to be able to log on at different portions of the day. Cause like, say you can catch like 5 different kinds of butterflies in, wintertime in the morning. And then you can catch like another 5 different ones in the afternoon, and then another 5 different ones in the evening. And so on and so forth.
So it is a perfect game for a console like the Switch, then, that people can take it with them and just jump on it
absolutely
during their lunch break or whatever. Because it was like a DS game before, right?
GameCube. It came out originally.
Yeah, it was originally in GameCube. Yeah. And
fucking OP little box that thing was.
Yes, it was. But dude, I don't know if you guys know. Well, I know you guys know, but for those who don't know, Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing had the same release date. The devs of Animal Crossing released a video of the animals playing the Doom theme song live performance.
Yeah, I saw something
as like an appreciation. And like, dude, they need to put Doom cosmetics or items or like decorations, whatever the fuck have you, into Animal Crossing. Like that needs to fucking happen. Yes, a BFG statue.
Isn't it?
But dude, if they had a mod though, what if they had?
I just got it in Doom Eternal, dude. I've been playing the shit out of it.
Dude, if they had a mod in Doom though, where all the enemies look like the little animals, that shit would be pretty fucking funny.
Dude, absolutely.
With how cartoony that game is, it may as well have it.
Yeah.
I will say though, man, that like with Animal Crossing and Doom coming out on the first day, and again, like, other people out there may not realize how divisive the gaming community actually is, but like if you have like Call of Duty and Halo coming out at the same time, like you've just got a bunch of fucking nerds like bushing heads over heads, like determining which one's a better game. But like because Doom and Animal Crossing are so completely different, it's come to make like the most wholesome crossover on the internet you could ever fucking possibly imagine.
It's the most lighthearted, calm, relaxing video game ever. and then
And
the
then,
most
ugh.
brutal,
And then
gory,
fucking Doom.
hell-filled fucking video game ever. Like, it's complete polar opposites in its entirety.
That's pretty actually fucking rad.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. I'm digging
Like,
it.
oh, I'm gonna go catch an insect with my little butterfly net. Wee, and
Meanwhile,
you're
I'm
frolicking
looking
through your
for
fucking-
interstellar aliens.
Yeah. Oh, let me rev up my chainsaw, brother. And just go right through. Rip out your eyeballs.
So
Done.
Jeez.
I wanna loop it back to GameStop because as always
Yes.
we do. So all of their stores are deemed non-essential. I'm assuming, is that nationwide or is that just in certain areas where like these kinds of measures are in
That I
place?
don't know.
See-
I know for a fact for us it was like L.A. County. I
Right,
don't
right,
know if it's
right.
gone further since we got Lindsay's copy of Animal Crossing on Friday morning. Things
I
may have changed
believe
from GameStop corporate. I don't know though.
I believe that as an entire company, they have switched over to home delivery only.
Gotcha. Oh, so you can go
Now-
on their website and buy a.
Yeah.
fucking
Now I
overpriced
don't
video game.
know. I don't. They're like allowing because you could like order online for like pick up in store orders and then like pay for it and then like they'd hold it for you there and then you go in and just show them your like little confirmation
Right.
number and they'd ring you up or hand you it or whatever the fuck they did. I don't know, maybe stores, because like different stores will have different things in stock. Maybe they're allowing the stores, because I know a lot of like local mom and pop businesses are offering shipping and delivery. So I don't know if the stores are shipping stuff or if
Like
they're
Grubhub, Uber Eats style kind of thing.
yeah, because I don't even know if they're
Postmates.
they've been doing the curbside pickup thing for a while where you didn't have to come in the store, but I think at this point they're like closed to the public completely. I don't even know if they're still doing curbside pickup.
Gotcha.
What I thought was really odd about this whole thing is, they've switched up their whole business model to like trying to make it a place where like you could come and like hang out. And they've been testing that in certain markets where you come in and they have like a tabletop games table to play like Dungeons and Dragons, and they've got all the PCs lined up with the chairs for people to play multiplayer games. And they were literally switching it over to a business that encouraged larger gatherings of people. And then when this all happened, they're like, no, we're essential. But like their whole thing was to
They're
have
trying to
large
save
people.
face,
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
it's because they're fucking dead. That's
Yeah,
all it is. They're dying.
That's really what it comes down to. I mean, you can't. I get why they are structured the way they are to keep a business of that size afloat, but they have a bad rap for so many things that
Yeah.
even though a lot of their structure makes sense, like business wise, fuck you.
Well,
Is
so-
what it
No, but
comes
see,
down to.
a lot of their
Like, I mean,
structure made sense like years ago.
right, and it
But they
hasn't
were
translated well
still-
to present day.
No,
because
and
of the
they
way things have
took-
changed.
They took too long to evolve, and they didn't evolve the right way. They tried to evolve into more of the like collectibles and stuff like that, as opposed
ThinkGeek.
to
It's the same.
Hobby.
It's the same. It's the
Well,
same
they own-
umbrella.
they own ThinkGeek, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but they didn't like they didn't evolve to try to keep up with like the digital thing. Like they should have, because they always had like their exclusive pre-order rewards, but like they should have leaned more towards like exclusive digital stuff. Hey, if you like pre-ordered on our website digitally, you get this shit or whatever to try to get people into that. And they didn't do it. And it's whatever, dude. Like they're fucking dead. And like I don't know. It good. You know
They
what?
will need to do a complete overhaul of.
Well, but they've
everything
been
in
known
order to
for
survive.
they've been known for treating their employees like crap for a really long
I vouch
time.
for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, they've been known for treating their employees like crap for a long time. They've been known for treating customers like crap and being very overbearing with their reward systems
Extremely
and stuff.
pushy.
So
Extremely
it's
pushy.
just
I mean,
going to
you,
be
you
tough.
see less pushiness with sales at a fucking car dealership, dude. You really do. I mean, obviously not every time, but like there are GameStop stores that are so, are you sure you don't want to pre-order this or buy this accessory or
Right.
hey, get Game Informer for a year? I mean, like you get less bullshit on a sales floor at a car dealership usually.
Exactly.
What,
exactly.
you don't want to
And-
order the 2021 Celica, bro? Pre-order that shit?
Oh man, but it just comes down to not fucking over your customers and the people that work for you. I mean, in this day and age in 2020, dude, people want transparency. People want to be treated, like we all know in this day and age. This may have been okay in the 70s and 80s and 90s or whatever. I mean, it wasn't, but regardless, it was said since then. Very oh well, the customer is always right. No, the customer is not always right, but that doesn't mean you can use that as an excuse to treat your customers like
right,
shit.
Exactly, that's the difference.
That's the difference. And then treating your employees like crap or underpaying them. For fuck's sake, I mentioned this last week. GameStop store managers make like 40 grand a year.
Right.
Like that ain't shit for a store manager. You can go work at Kroger and be a store manager at Kroger or Publix. And I know it's like a grocery store versus a video game store, okay? But they still make like 6 figures, dude. Like it's night and day. A store manager at Buckle in Town Center Mall is going to make more than 40 fucking thousand a year. Like that ain't shit to run a store.
Right. They deal with $90,000
being harassed by your
trash.
DM because your district manager, oh well, you got to push more fucking pre-order sales, in order to, still have your job on Monday. Like fuck that, dude. Like dealing with that kind of pressure and only making 40 grand a year. Fuck out of here.
So the reason I brought it up is, do you guys think? I mean, we all have no idea how long like any of these like quarantines and everything like that are going to stay around. If they're forced to stay shut down, like if this goes federal and like the entire country essentially shuts down for, let's call it a month, 2 weeks even, do you think they'd survive? I don't think they would.
No, I don't think they will.
No,
I think, I was talking to a buddy of mine today about stocks, and we were talking about fucking GameStop and like how just their 5-year trend has been down, and they're so low already as it is, with like no sign of it coming back up, that it doesn't fucking matter, dude. At this point, there's no way that they're gonna fucking make it.
No, I don't.
Not in my opinion.
And I really do think there should be some sort of complete federal shutdown. Absolutely. I think it's the only way, that we're going to be able to get any progress on this. And
I don't know. It would be like, it would be so difficult for them to pull something like that off. Like they don't really have the personnel to enforce it, for one.
Martial law wouldn't go over well in the U.S. That's like just the biggest effect right there. Is you got some good old corn-fed merc and boys like Evo over there stocked up with their shotguns and Shalzo bullets. Those guys are not going to be too thrilled about the idea of the big man up there telling me that I can't go out on my front lawn
dude,
anymore.
we're not talking about SEAL Team 6 here, though.
Right.
Just normal fucking military police type of people, They're not gonna be like, hey,
what y'all doing in here?
Y'all got any illegals in there? It's not gonna be like that. Like, I think just having stations up, it'll help something, but
that's.
I'm not afraid if they were to have like martial law. Again, it's not gonna be, the fucking Marine Corps, like Navy SEAls, or
there's not going to be fucking tanks rolling down my
street.
No. Okay, like they're not going to roll into my neighborhood.
Square 2020. Okay,
I said my neighborhood. Wookie, let me have it, please.
I know, but here's where I was going with this is, I sent you guys that message that I received from somebody, which I'm not going to go into too much detail, but essentially it was a forewarning that the National Guard's can be deployed here in Illinois. Nothing from a policing standpoint, but strictly medical personnel and stuff like that coming in. A colleague of mine, her husband or like somebody she knew works around the corner from where I work in downtown Chicago. We like kitty corner and like big sky rises, right? Um, and at like 11 a.m. on like Wednesday or Thursday of last week, she sent me a text message saying that like so and so is looking out the window right now, and there's just like military trucks going all the way down Michigan Avenue, and there's no other cars, there's no people, nothing like that. Like I went to the office on a Wednesday because I needed to go pick up some things and like get prepared to be home much longer term than I had initially anticipated for. And like it was eerie, man. Like I work in a big building. It's, you know, it's the size of a full city block. You know, it's got 40 some odd stories in it. So there's, you know, probably a good like 50 to 70,000 people in that building at any given point, right?
Yeah.
It has never once happened where like I walk into the lobby and like I don't have to wait for an elevator, or like there's not people there, and like there's a Starbucks in the lobby of my building that like it's always popping. And it's just been fucking crazy, man. Like you walk around and it's a ghost town. It's like you're like an I Am Legend or something like that. You know? Like,
Oh, dude. I mean, there's screenshots of I-85 and I-75 in Atlanta.
yeah.
And it's just,
Yeah.
or I mean, 285. Sorry, that's in
Yeah.
downtown.
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah.
And it is insane. Like, lived in Atlanta for 22 years, 23 years, and that's unheard of. Even though I did see a thing where these like kids in their cars or whatever blocked off the interstate under a like in a tunnel, and they were like just doing donuts and like drifting like in this tunnel. Like, you know, I mean, it was during like this crisis or whatever, and no, it wasn't. It was before, but it was at a certain time where it's dead. But even dead Atlanta is still like one of the busiest places you could ever be traffic wise. It is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
And it's a sheer chaos, you know? They're not asshole drivers. They're just really stupid drivers that don't fucking pay attention. Here in California, we have asshole drivers. Big difference.
right.
It creates the same results, but you
Right.
can see the difference, like visibly see how they drive differently.
Throw a little bit of rain in the mix. Whew.
Oh God,
dude, rain. It doesn't like it rains in Georgia all the time, and
it
people
rained
are
all
still
day today.
fucking
All day.
afraid of it. And out here, it rained like twice in almost 4 months of me living here, and people are definitely afraid of it. Like it's so stupid.
What is this thing falling from the sky? Do you mean to tell me that setting civilization up in the desert was a bad idea?
and then they're on the wheel like this, like I got no traction.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Like, dude. Oh fuck that!
It's
man.
LA.
I
It's
hate
more
it.
Xenu. Take the wheel. Thank you very much.
Oh shit.
No, but see, okay, so I had a situation actually over the weekend that legitimately kind of scared me about this whole thing, this whole COVID-19-ness.
Point two.
Yeah, but
It's version 19.2.0 right now.
Electric Boogaloo.
so we just did the update. So
please update your drivers, y'all.
Yeah. So we were in we're gonna go hunting on Saturday, and I hit up a friend of mine.
Upcoming Saturday?
This past Saturday.
Oh, gotcha.
So on Friday, like I messaged a friend of mine and I was like, yo, we're gonna hunt in this place, and it's like 15-20 minutes from your house. So like, do you want to come with us? And we were gonna camp out on Friday night, and then the weather ended up being like really, really bad. So we didn't. So we ended up like crashing at his house. But anyway, so we meet him at his house, and he goes to get his shotgun because we're turkey hunting. And he's like, I don't have a choke tube for this shotgun. And I said, okay, well, we're gonna have to go get one of those. So he brings the shotgun down, and I put my pinky down into the barrel, and I'm like, bro, you don't even have like threads inside this fucking thing to put a choke tube in it. So he looks at me and he goes, guess we're going to buy a shotgun. And I'm thinking, okay, good fucking luck, but like, let's go. So we go to this academy. Now in academy, they had like hunting shotguns, like camo finishes, longer barrels, whatever. They're not really designed to clear a house with. They're not, compact, like whatever. But so he's
Barrels
looking
that are
at
about
them.
the damn same size as your desk.
Right. I mean, hey, mine's got 28-inch barrel on it. It's a long ass shotgun.
It's a grower, not a shower.
No, mine's definitely a shower. So this guy like walks up to me and he was like, I just moved here from Baltimore. How do the gun laws work in Georgia? And I said,
what gun laws?
yeah, I was like, sir, you can buy whatever firearms you want today. And as long as you pass a background check, you can take those same guns and whatever ammo you want home with you today. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, I'm about to spend about $2,000-$3,000 on some guns to keep my house safe. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude, I gave you some good information. You should buy me a gun. And he starts laughing or whatever. And then he goes, okay, I want that one. And now he's talking to the dude behind the counter. He goes, I want this one right here. He's like, I want this one right here. I want this one right here or whatever. And then he looks over to me and he goes, what kind of gun is that? And I said, what do you mean? I said, I think that's a Mossberg, but I'm not really sure. And he goes, no. Like, what type of gun is it? And I'm like, it's a shotgun. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. He's like, I just want to make sure I'm not buying, like, I don't want a hunting rifle. I want a shotgun for my house. And I'm sitting there and I'm like,
you don't even know.
You don't even know what type it is. And you're just like, give me one of those, lines them up. And I sat there and I was like, I just enabled this fucking idiot to like do this because I literally just told him, I was like, you could buy all these and take them home right now. Not knowing, like he said, he said he didn't know anything about the laws because he just moved here. He didn't tell me he didn't know anything about like types of guns or any fucking thing like that. And so this dude is going to fucking go home with a couple $1,000s worth of guns and ammo. And he is going to hurt somebody or himself. Like that, those are the types of people so that like shouldn't be doing this. And like that's the kind of thing about this that's freaking me out a little bit is not the fact I'm not the virus, not that people want to have guns to feel safe or whatever, but like, you know, Brendan, you and I were talking about this earlier. Generally the people that want to have guns, that are familiar with guns, that know how to use guns, typically like already kind of have them, even if it's just one.
Right.
They already have them. Most of the people that are running out there panic purchasing firearms right now don't know anything about what they're buying, how to use it, how to do any of this shit. And those are going to be the people that when shit goes crazy, they're going to be the first ones trying to play. They're going to play Call of Duty,
which I don't really care about, but to us,
they are going to be the ones playing Call of Duty in the streets, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about responsibility, dude. That is the number one rule of anything firearm related.
Yeah,
you gotta have. Well, I mean, Jeff, years ago, dude, you walked me through because you're a certified Glock instructor. Did I say it right? Is that what it is?
I'm a certified firearms instructor. I'm a certified Glock armorer.
Okay, gotcha. I'm glad I clarified. And you gave me a rundown on handguns. Before I met you, I had Cowboy, who was in the Army. He was a sniper, who kind of gave me a little rundown on shotguns and rifles. You know, not too much, but I still had hands-on some minor education regarding them. And then, you know, you and I have shot together. We have a buddy, Xander, Alex, who is obsessed with fucking firearms.
Yes, obsessed.
Again, in a safe manner. And, you know, you have to have some sort of basis to remove the fear of this inanimate object, but you must also fear
it
in a different sense.
Yes, exactly.
You know, like in the Old Testament, oh, you must fear God, you know. Oh, well, you know, it's really a respect thing, you know.
Exactly.
Kind of sense. It's the same thing, different at the same time. Okay, not to get off subject, but you have to have that responsible mental fortitude in order to handle a firearm. Bottom line.
Exactly.
And these people who are going all fucking dicks out, buying up all the goddamn ammo when they don't even know how to fucking load it. And they're going to be on YouTube in a couple hours after they get home and settled in and put little Timmy to bed. You know,
And they're gonna hope that they fucking searched the right make and model of what they're trying to play with.
Exactly.
Because, like,
I mean,
fuck, dude.
They probably bought a 40 cal handgun. You know, a Glock 23. That's what I have.
No safety, no safety on it.
No safety at all, and they hit the slide release lock, thinking it's the safety, and it just it goes all squirrely on it. Okay, and then they fucking buy 45 cal ammo
instead.
For the Glock 40, because they don't fucking know any better. You know.
Well, I mean, and that's actually more common than people think. A lot of people think that, like, if it's handgun bullets, it can go in any handgun. And if it's rifle, they literally think that there's 3 types of ammunition: shotgun,
handgun, shotgun,
rifle.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what they did in video games. Was
exactly.
Things.
That's it. So,
Jesus, man.
I mean, but this guy was literally asking all these questions, and my fucking 12-year-old is talking to him and I'm listening because he's still 12. I don't want him to like tell this dude something completely wrong. This little shit, he was telling him about all kinds of stuff, dude, and he was like, no, for your house, you want one of these. And I was like, damn, child. Like, he fucking knows. Let me tell you, he knows how to clear a room in Siege, bro. He fucking knows. He knows what the business is. So,
absolutely.
But, like, those are the types of people.
Your house, he'll be walking around with a fucking riot shield door and a fucking shotgun.
Nah, dude, he's gonna play Tachanka, and he's just gonna be set up with the turret in the corner, just waiting.
Well, and again, I mean, you always need to respect the firearm. You always need to, and you always have to. And rule number 2, you always have to pretend that it's loaded. You know, not to get dark, and I don't want to talk about it just for the sake. I want this to still be like a positive, a little bit lighthearted.
And we can get deep, though. We can get deep.
No. I don't want to, and this is the reason why. When I was 14, my best friend was shot and killed by a handgun in his parents' bedroom because of irresponsibility. They thought it was unloaded. They didn't act like it was unloaded. Friend pointed the gun at my best friend's face, saying, look at this. And then friend backhanded, trigger was pulled, end of story. He died.
Damn.
Jesus.
That's what happens, dude.
Well, and that happens a lot. It happens
a lot. Yeah. And again, I don't want to like talk about it because I don't want to go in depth to this whole fucking story and turn this into like some fucking sob story, because it's not. But that is the reason why you must always have some sort of basic knowledge regarding firearms. Bottom line. I mean, whether you fucking go and take an online course or you have a friend, for me, I'm a hands-on kind of guy. Kind of guy. Jeff over here taught me hands-on. And, Cowboy taught me hands-on. Alex taught me hands-on. And I mean, for the longest time, I didn't fuck with the shotgun, even though a shotgun is the easiest goddamn weapon you'll ever handle in your life. It's not like a melee weapon, obviously. A firearm. It's fucking stupid simple. But I didn't want to do it because I have a fucking principle about it.
Right.
So it just sat there. I bought it 3 years ago. And I just started fucking with it recently because, again, it's a
COVID-19,
bro. It's a moral. Yes. Well, absolutely, dude. And so I was like, dude, fuck it. I gotta have, some sort of basic knowledge. And so I messed with it a lot, like a few hours. And again, I know it's just a shotgun. It's easy, but I still wanted to have hands-on fucking with in a safe, reliable manner.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean,
you got to do what you got to do, man.
I've talked to Jeff about it. Like, I would, when I was living in Indiana, where like, I mean, you can, if you could see over the counter, they'll sell you a gun, basically. I was talking to Jeff about it. I was like, man, like, I've been thinking about going and buying a gun of sorts, and like, I've gone shooting. Like, I didn't shoot a gun until I was already an adult, because like it just wasn't anything that my parents were about. But a couple of my best friends, like that's their whole families are all about it. Like between the two of them, they could fucking man a small militia. It's unbelievable. So like I went out shooting with them, and like, I've still only shot like maybe like 15, 20 different guns, and the idea of like the only thing holding me back from going and buying a gun, because I could literally go to the store, swipe my debit card, walk out with a gun, and be happy dandy. The only thing that's ever stopped me from it is that I don't know enough about responsible gun ownership for it to be anything, for it to be something that from a home defense standpoint, I wouldn't have been able to know how to use it properly. Like, if that makes sense.
That's
like,
why
it's not
that
just
makes total
point
sense.
and shoot.
But it is. However,
I mean, not.
What
No,
you're practicing
no.
right there is exactly
What
gun
people
ownership responsibility.
Right. So it is technically there's two different things. Like actually firing the weapon, it is pretty much point and shoot. But the concept of owning one and the knowledge behind it, you're right. It is not just point and shoot. Now, I will give you a little bit of advice if you do decide to go in there, because I fucking hate gun store people.
Same.
I hate gun store customers. I hate gun store employees, because they're the type of people that stand behind the counter and they just think that they know more than any motherfucker that walks in there because I work in a gun store.
They're always assholes.
Well, okay, but I'm gonna tell you how to. I'm gonna tell you how to
my
fix
experience, except for my buddy Tommy, who used to work there. Jeff, you don't. You've never met Tommy. Oh no, you did. You did a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, he's a cop now, but man, he is the one gun store employee that was not like this total dickbag I did not want to talk to because we were already buddies and all that shit. So.
Well, but like if you go to a gun store and you are like considering buying it, I don't give a fuck. And this is for everybody that listens right now. This is how you fucking do this, okay? It does not matter how much I know or don't know about anything. I could go in there and I could be looking at a particular Glock. I'm very familiar with Glocks because of obvious reasons. I will look at this motherfucker and I will be like, look, man, I don't know shit. What is a good gun for this? This is what I'm looking at. Is this a nice gun? Blah, blah, blah. They will like let their guard down, because you got to think those people have so many customers coming in there and they'll be like, oh yeah, well, I prefer this caliber because of this, and this. And they're just whatever. Because everyone has their opinion on the best caliber, the best barrel length, the best whatever. And I get it.
It's also circle jerk.
They have so much of that they have like a guard up. And they just assume everybody that walks in there is going to want to have a dick measuring contest with them about gun knowledge. Absolutely. So every time I walk into a store to buy something, I just straight up be like, look, man, I'm a dumbass. I'm brand new to this. And like, this is what I'm trying to do. And I've walked into stores, dude, in like full camo. Like clearly somebody who at least pretends to like guns at that point. Cause like, just cause I'm wearing camo doesn't necessarily mean I like shoot guns.
Can't believe they saw you coming.
But I have literally walked in there before and been like, I don't know anything about this and I'm trying to buy this, so tell me about this. And it's just a way better experience.
It is.
If you don't try to act like you know shit.
Owner or employee is always going to be a two-way representative. Always. Without a doubt. And so the more people that are supporting the Second Amendment, and people, you know, you see like a noob and they're wanting to be responsible and they're asking the questions instead of just assuming they know shit because of Wikipedia, you know, they're going to be more inclined to go and help you. That's just what it is. But I can already tell you what you need, Wookie. 1911. Because
whatever, that's what you tell everybody they fucking.
So it's funny you say that, because when I was in the market, I've shot one of my buddies. He has, like I said, they've got enough weapons to arm a small militia, and I've shot his Glock and his 1911, both Glock 9mm and the 40 as well, or 45. Okay, yeah, whatever it is.
The 45 full size would be the Glock 21, sir.
Okay. And then the other one of them shoots 9mm rounds as well, right?
That'd be the Glock 19, sir.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I've shot both of those, and then the 1911 is just a standard caliber, right?
No, you can get a 1911 is more like a style. Typically they used to be 45s predominantly, but now you can basically get a 1911 in any caliber. It's just the way that there's just a look. Okay. To a 1911, and they used to be like
number one World War I winner right there.
And Kimber used to be like the top of the line like 1911s. They just made these top tier, but now it's like every fucking manufacturer and their mother makes a 1911 now.
Like I have a Springfield.
Nice
Alex
guns.
Has I don't remember what he has actually, but it's not a Springfield. I know, Kimber definitely makes
you used to
good
not be able
ones,
to
but-
get one for under like $1,600 for like a full size Kimber 1911, but they've come
Dude, I
down
only
a lot
spent
because of
$450
competition.
on mine, dude. Reddit gun deals, dude, is the fucking spot. Like, I got my.
You can also just go to
Lindsay's Timber.
gun.deals. It's the same. It's like
I think
the
it's the same thing, right? But like,
Yeah.
Reddit has like their subreddit for
Yeah.
that, or whatever, and they
Mhm.
just put it all over there for Reddit users.
and
but,
and you can find
dude,
stuff
I
on there
bought
for like
3 guns
Amazon.
off there, and it's
Yeah.
it's been fucking glorious, dude. Got some BZ
Mhm.
grips on mine, man. Like mine's sexy as hell, but I only spent $450 on it, and then
Yeah.
I got a FFL transferred to that survival store where I used to live, and then went up there, picked it up after a week, and then brought it back. Good to go, brand new.
Yeah, but
Yep.
where I was going with that was everybody always said like that I've ever talked to was like, yeah, just buy a Glock, just buy a Glock, just buy a Glock. Like it's the most popular gun in the world for a reason, but like I shot it and it just like felt like I was holding a box of Legos in my hand. But then 1911, ooh, that
Well,
felt
because
nice.
it's solid. The reason that somebody's going to tell you to buy a Glock is like the AK-47 of handguns.
Yeah.
You can bury that shit in the ground in freezing temperatures, leave it outside in the rain, pull it out, dust it off, load it, and it's gonna fucking shoot.
Yep.
So like if
Right.
you don't want to be somebody who babies their weapons and cleans them constantly and like all this shit, then yeah, you just fucking buy a Glock because like it doesn't matter like if what you
I've
how
had
I
my
mean
Glock for
it's
like
gonna
4 years. I've never once cleaned it.
no, and it still shoots.
I need to, but like, I don't give a
But
shit.
see, the whole thing
that's
for me
that's
is,
my
like-
glove compartment gun. You know
And
what I
they're
mean?
very
Like-
easy. They're very
That's what that
simple.
is.
They're really simple to clean and take apart. They break down into like 4 pieces.
Yeah.
And I mean, so yeah, it is a very first handgun for somebody to own. But like you were saying, it is not something that like is designed to be like this super comfortable, awesome shooting competition pistol. Or like,
we went to the range back in like October, and this is before I bought my 1911, and I went and shot my Glock, and then shot the 1911, and I was like, I'm buying a 1911.
yeah, no.
3 days later, I got a good deal on Reddit gun deals and got the transfer and picked it up. Could not be happier, dude. It is such a beautiful firearm. Like I see why people are obsessed with them.
Yeah, no.
I totally get it. But Wookie, to circle back around, you're already being a responsible gun owner without owning a gun.
By not buying
By not buying one right now.
I'm a responsible motorcycle owner because I will fucking kill myself on a motorcycle.
Jokes aside, I respect that. You know, your point of view on that. You want to feel a little bit more comfortable with it before any kind of like purchase or whatever. That right there is like already rule number 1. I'm like that as well. You know, I got my Glock, which is my first gun, after it was part of a trade deal. When I had my first motorcycle, it was like some cheap piece of shit katana, and you know, the guy gave me like $500 and gave me this Glock 23S or whatever, and you know, I was like, I don't want to fuck with it. And then Jeff and I went to the range, and then he kind of gave me hands-on whatever. You know, and luckily we live in a day and age where
Just because I'm like pretty beast at Glocks, no big deal.
Raddest in the land.
The raddest in the land.
And you know, like we have Discord video call. Like we could honestly show you responsibility over Discord if you were to purchase one and didn't want to take a course. Because right now you're not going to take a fucking course if you wanted hands-on.
Shit, I'll put you in a fucking video call with Maddox and I can show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly.
The big thing will be is like the reason that the only reason I would have bought a Glock is for exactly the reason you guys are saying. It's like it's easy to own, quote on like the biggest air quotes that I can put on that. But for me, like I want something that I'm gonna deconstruct it so many times and put it back together that I can do it with my eyes closed.
So
that'd
funny
be a Glock
that you,
or a 1911.
Funny that you
fucking there. Unless
funny
you
that
just
you
like a revolver or something.
But that's just how familiar I want to be with it before.
But
I
it's
ever
funny that you
consider
say
using
that.
it.
When I was in the police academy, we shot the Glock 21, the full size 40 cal. That's what we carried. It's a big, heavy ass fucking gun. But we literally sat in a room for 2 fucking hours, and all we did was take it apart, and put it back together before they even let us think about fucking shooting them. And then they gave us those the blue guns, the training guns, and they made us practice drawing because we had 3-point holsters. So you had to like push this thing down with your thumb, flip it forward, push a button on the side, rock the gun back, and then like pull it out.
Yeah.
So it was like this, it was like rehab. It was a fucking 12-step program.
Twist it, shake it, pull it.
Yeah, dude, bop it.
Bop it.
So
you gotta fucking bop it.
then they made you like draw like, I don't, dude, so many fucking times. And they were making us do drawing competitions, and whoever was slowest had to run. Like we did that shit for a week before they even let us shoot the fucking thing. So, I mean, the fact that you want to do that, like, you're ready, senpai.
Like you can do that, dude. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube that you can actually, watch of like very, very, very good instructors. Hickok 45. He's more of like a test kind of guy. I mean, as far as I know, he might have some sort of like disassembly shit, but there's like a lot of really educational videos you can watch that will show you how to tear it apart, tear it down, put it back together, all that good shit. Any kind of just common, rules and regulations and just ethics that you should follow.
I mean, I want to know how to do all of that stuff before I even like consider buying ammunition for it.
Well, see, and here's kind of my thing about it too. And like I mean, Brennan, you knew this. Like when you and Xander, who you mentioned earlier, or whatever, when you guys were kind of getting into guns and buying guns a lot and going and shooting, you guys kept talking to me about getting guns, and I was just so fucking resistant to it, right? I literally was just like, dude, I was forced to fucking carry one for so long that I just didn't care to have one anymore and carry it around with me or whatever. So here's my fucking thing though. Another reason was because never at any point did I feel like I was going to fucking walk outside of my house and not be safe to a point that I felt like I had to like have a gun on me all the time. And I didn't start buying guns again until we started really getting into like hunting and stuff. And so if you are not like at a point where you genuinely just feel like you're not safe, then like,
I have no reason to buy a gun except to go to a gun range and like have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean,
here's my perspective. It's better to have it and not need it than not have it and need it. Spend the money to have it. I mean, the depreciation on a firearm is pretty minimal. I mean, every gun's going to depreciate a little bit, but it's not like you buy a car and you just lost out like half of the value immediately after driving off the lot. It is better to have it. I mean, because the investment's not really that bad unless you get like dicks out for going to the range or like, defense training or whatever the fuck you want to do. It is not, I mean, you can go to the local gun store right now, get a refurb or a new one with ammo and a holster for like $500 out the door right now. I mean, and that's being generous.
Yeah,
it's better to spend the $500 and not carry, but own that gun until you're 80 and never shoot it than going through all the next 70 years of your life. And what if you do have a break-in?
Yeah.
What then? Like you don't know what they have. It's better to have it than to not.
Right. And I mean, I will do it eventually. Like I know that it is a purchase that I want to make. I know I want to do it and I will do it, but it's just like there's something up in the old noggin that's telling me like it's not the move right now. It's not.
It's the lack of information that you want to know that's giving you that feeling,
right?
Which is totally understandable because you're
and
not
the fact that you have
going out there right now, scooping up whatever you fucking can, being an idiot, buying up all the ammo or like the guy at
fucking
Academy
Baltimore, Mr. Fucking Baltimore.
You're not being that guy, which is the best thing right now,
right?
But I would implore you that if you do have this interest then you do need to educate yourself a little bit responsibly. It's all about it's all a part of the culture. All a part of the culture.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as anyone else that I know, but I mean, I can answer a good amount of questions, and I know Jeff can answer a lot more, and kind of get you up to speed, or we can forward you some good deals that we find, or like, hey, I would recommend this, or you go on YouTube and you fucking watch some instructional videos and everything, and just kind of familiarize yourself with it. And do the thing.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
it's as easy as that, because the more you understand about it, the less hesitant you will feel about it. Just like with anything else. I mean,
right?
You could have never driven a car before, and you want a car, but you have that back of the mind fear regarding driving the car, because like, oh, well, I've seen accidents on the highway. I've seen the news. People have died from driving a car. It's this exact same principle that comes down to it for gun ownership.
And then eventually, you just you get comfortable, and you understand it, and you learn, and then it's
just like with anything else. It's exactly like with anything else. Like right now, you take the metro, but you can hop in a car and just drive. Done. And like, you don't even think about it. Like, oh, I'm driving to the store, whatever. It's the exact same thing with guns, dude. But I mean, it's just you still respect the car when you're driving, or should. I mean, some people don't give a fuck and they go 150 miles an hour in the interstate anyway,
in the rain.
Atlanta, in the rain. That would be bad car ownership. And that's a bad driver. Like, fuck you. But it's the same thing with anything else, man.
Exact same thing. The funny part about all of it, though, is like, I'm not the kind of person that researches things before I buy it. But this is just one of those things where like I understand like I don't even want to say like the severity of the purchase, but like the consequences and the responsibility that comes with a purchase of this caliber.
But if you're not going to be carrying it outside or anything, and you're just going to have it as home defense, it's not
right.
Like, you still need to know about it, but it's not like near as bad if you're going to like outside waistband, carry your 45 cal 1911. Like, that's a lot of looks.
I won't buy. I like don't personally feel that it's appropriate for me to like even consider it as an aspect of home defense until I'm able to hit like 10 shots in a certain grouping.
But from how far? From how far away? You're right. Okay. Well, you can probably,
dude. So a 5-year-old could do that.
No,
so the first time,
my shooting, given how few times I've gone and shot. I mean, I've shot maybe a total of like, I would say between like 500 and 1,000 bullets in my life. Like maybe somewhere in that area. And again, like this is from going to the range.
500 to 1,000.
Yeah. I mean, we would go to a range and we would shoot, and we would shoot like a couple hundred rounds out of each gun each. Like that's how we would go. Like, we would go spend a fuck you amount of money on ammo and just like go piss the day away at the gun range. We have an awesome range out here. One of our guys here in the live audience knows about it, where you pretty much pay like $25 and you can throw whatever you want into their pit and just fucking shoot the shit out of it as long as it doesn't destroy the environment. So had a good time with that.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah, no, it's a great time. Buffalo
that
Range
is the most
Ottawa,
metal
Illinois.
thing I've ever heard.
Sponsor.
Yeah, but dude, you'd be fine, man. And just know that if you ever want to sell it in the future, you can just take it over to your local gun store and trade it in, and they'll give you a better rate than GameStop. and that's a motherfucking promise, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna give you $1,550 for that. Wait, what? I just bought this like last week for $1,000. What?
And I fucking hate it.
So I appreciate the freedom talks here all the time. I mean, it's a good one. I'll wrap up. Actually, I think we can kind of move on to something else, but I'll wrap up this with when I moved to Indiana. So in Illinois, you have to have a FOID card, a firearm owner's identification card, in order to buy a gun. Like, you have to go through that process before you can go. In Indiana, I like had no idea what that was like, just because I hadn't bothered looking into it. And I called the local gun store. I was like, hey, I just moved out here. Like, I want to know what I need to be able to, like, buy a gun and get some ammo and, like, see what happens. The guy's like, "Oh, you must be like from one of the states around us, probably Illinois. Like, come on in here and we'll give you a taste of what real freedom's like." And that's a fucking quote.
You walk in, you open the door, and it just goes, "America!" Fuck yeah!
Dude, when I first moved here, I called the local range and I was like, "Hey, man, like I just moved here from Atlanta," and he goes, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
Damn.
Quote. He goes, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a temporary gig, dude." But
Oh
yeah.
my
And he goes, "Man, I'm
God.
so sorry, bro. But yeah, you can just come up here and like, shoot, it's not that big of a deal." But buying everything and transfers and 10-day waiting periods here in California, because you have to go and you can buy the gun. You get the background check done. It's instant, just like everywhere else. And then they make you wait 10 days until you can pick it up. It is the dumbest fucking thing. So they just hold the gun for you.
But you
in the
pay
back
for it.
shelf. But
Do
you
you
paid
pay
for
for
it.
it
You already
that
paid
day?
for it. And you got the background check. And then you have to wait the 10-day waiting period.
I
Why?
wonder though. I
And
wonder
the
how
only
many
thing-
people like forget or just like don't ever go pick it up.
That
And they keep the money
Yes.
like GameStop. You put your $5 down to pre-order, and then
Mhm.
you don't come pick the game up. Like I probably have $10 sitting on some pre-order somewhere
some GameStop somewhere
that I'll
in
never.
Georgia.
I should log into my account, check that out. real quick.
Well, here's the one thing that I can understand the 10-day waiting period thing for, is if someone's purchasing one emotionally for revenge or to cause harm to somebody for that reason,
yeah,
10-day waiting period, they could really think about what they were planning to do. And so I see it from that aspect. If that's even what it's about, I don't know. That's the only thing that makes sense to me is, to not cause harm to somebody else out of vengeance or just violence or whatever the fucking evil reason you have. But yeah, 10-day waiting period here. So,
damn. Well,
yeah.
hey, there's reasons. I mean, and some of the people in our audience are saying it used to be a lot more common, especially like back in the 80s. And then somebody else says, well, it's so crazy that people can't impulsively buy a gun and shoot somebody, just like kind of like you were saying. It's just like an impulse
I didn't even
purchase.
see that. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think that does like make sense. It sucks for you because you moved from a place where that wasn't a thing. But like if you'd lived there your whole life, it would just be what
It'd
you
be
were
the norm.
used to.
Yeah.
It'd be the norm.
Well, and I do think that there needs to be more involved with firearm purchase. If you're going to go and pick up your very first one, you should be required to take the background check, obviously, and then a course, a hands-on course where they offer training courses with instructors.
As opposed to asking questions to the 12-year-old standing next to you at the fucking counter. Like,
exactly.
yeah, I mean,
dude.
Jesus.
Yes. Absolutely.
God.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
And that would, if they started that, like, they wouldn't have to enforce, millions of Americans that already own guns to go and take this course now out of their day. They already know how to do it, hopefully, usually. But any new owners from this day forward would have to go and take a course, which some states may already have that. I don't know. But, I think it would be a smart thing. It would remove the fear. It would, give some knowledge and
change the stigma about it a little
well,
bit.
it would make you lose the fear. Yeah, it would remove the stigma. You would lose the fear of a gun, and you would gain the fear of a gun.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So to lighten things up a little bit as we're kind of winding down towards the end of the night, any good recommendations of let's talk about some binge watching, because everybody's fucking stuck inside.
Yeah, dude.
So like I want to hear what everybody's binge watching on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever. I will say I think that the fucking the Amazon Cinema shit is pretty fucking rad.
It is pretty cool because you can rent the brand new movies that are in theaters.
Yeah,
I
and-
don't even know the pricing. Or does
Okay,
it
so
vary?
it's $19.99 for a 48-hour rental is what I've seen as like the most common, which sounds like a lot of fucking money for a rental. but it's
less than to
still
get a couple
cheaper
people to go to the
than like
movies, buy
it's cheaper than
snacks.
2 people going to a movie. By the time it's
much was it
usually
again?
about $19.99 for a rental.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cheaper than going to the movie to see it, and
Mhm.
COVID-19 does it not included. So
19.2.0.
so it's not a bad deal. I think that Disney actually they put out that new movie Onward,
I
and
want to see that one.
they are not
dude.
actually it's not available to rent on Amazon. You can actually buy it right now for $19.99.
What?
But
That's
it's
a bold move, Cotton.
but
Can I
it's
stream
coming
it on
out.
Disney Plus?
It's coming out on Disney Plus like on April 2nd or something like that. So
It,
or
it
you
like
can
just
wait.
got out in theaters like 2 weeks ago. Like that's
Yeah.
it's not like it's coming to the end of its life here in the theaters.
Yep.
Like, no, it's
But
not.
Disney would be so smart to fucking release the movies like Mulan is coming out. They
Every
release
new
it.
Disney movie, they should just put it on there.
Just
dude.
put it on
their
there,
subscri-
let
their
you
subscriptions
fucking-
would skyrocket, dude.
Yeah, but you either you leave it on there for a week or two, let people buy it that really want to see it. They recoup obviously not all of the theater money, but they'll get some of that money back from purchases. And their subscriptions are going to jump up because all these brand new movies are going straight to Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be a smart thing. But anyway, what are you guys binging?
So we haven't really been binging anything new lately, honestly. I've been
God,
meaning
you
to
are
check
not
out-
living your best life, sir.
Dude, I worked like over 70 hours last week and moved. You can just like fact right off. We
Okay, all I said
watched-
was you're not living your best life, and then you 70 hours last week and had to move. So my point has been proven. Actually,
we've been like we watched a couple of good movies lately. Nothing new or anything like that. We watched All of Planet Earth 2 again. All of some like other Netflix nature show. I don't remember which one it was exactly. But the shows that we're going to be starting soon, we're going to start the new season of Westworld, season 3, which if you've never
No
seen
spoilers.
Westworld,
I have not seen season 2 yet.
fucking highly suggest that entire series. It's great if you like sci-fi. And I want to start watching Altered Carbon. I've heard great things about it.
I finished Altered Carbon.
is unique. Very
I
unique.
you haven't started.
Sorry, repeat that. You cut out.
You haven't even started season 1 of Altered Carbon. Like you haven't watched
No.
it at all.
No,
Okay,
no.
yeah,
And then
I
we
would
still need to watch
definitely.
the
It's
most
an
recent
adventure.
season of Mr. Robot too. That's on our list.
I have to watch the last season of Mr. Robot. I have finished Altered Carbon. I binged all 16-hour-long episodes of All American season 2 in 16 hours, probably.
Right.
I mean,
Jesus.
not really, but I mean, in a little less than 24 hours though, for sure. I definitely watched the whole thing. But I'm a binge watcher. Like if there's a show and I get into it, I will literally like make sure all my shit's done that needs to be done. And then like, I'll sit there, I'll watch it, I'll pause it if I need to go do something, but that's just what I'll do.
Yeah.
And my kids are old enough where,
They can like sustain themselves for the most
yeah,
part.
like Maddox is pretty much just playing
Get your
games.
own fucking apple juice.
he's making he's playing games all the time. And Kingslayer is just fucking she's binge watching all the old Disney princess movies again. I think she's watched anything that has the word Frozen in it probably 30 times in the last week. Frozen 1, Frozen 2, Frozen Christmas,
Heck
Olaf's
yeah.
Adventure, whatever. I'm
Frozen 2
able
is such a good fucking movie, dude.
It
Dude,
is.
Olaf's
It is.
Adventure is fucking awesome. I don't know whatever that is.
dude. But so yeah, I did those. But I do Devs.
Devs is
Devs is
top
a
tier.
Mind fuck.
Oh my god.
Have you heard
Yes.
of Devs, Martin?
No. What's
Okay,
Dude, it
have you
is
seen,
so obscure.
Now you've seen Ex Machina.
Oh, I fucking love that movie. And
Okay,
my
so-
daughter
okay.
is so mad because I
Masterpiece.
want to watch that movie like once a month. It's one of my fucking favorite movies of all time.
Okay,
She's
so
always like,
the-
no, let's not watch it again.
The writer
Sorry.
and director of Ex Machina did an 8-part miniseries called Devs. And it
Okay.
is an FX on Hulu exclusive, which whatever fucking partnership that is. So the first 4 episodes are up there now. They release new ones every Thursday. It is just as like out there and twisted and weird as Ex Machina is. And
Is
it's
it an AI series as well, or is it?
Dude, you just need to watch it.
Yeah,
there's no explaining.
There's no explaining it, but it's got some of the best.
Extremely obscure.
The visuals are fucking stellar. The music is fucking stellar. Just the atmosphere. Now, I will warn you, everybody, it is a little slow at times.
It's a slow burn. Yeah,
it's a slow burn, but like once it fucking catches fire for those moments, you're just like heartbeat pounding, like holy shit. Like this last episode, like that car wreck scene, which I'm not even that's not really like a spoiler, but like the way that was filmed,
I agree,
was just unbelievable to me.
The acting is amazing.
It's great.
Well, I want to talk about what I've been binging because I'm 30 unemployed living in a desert. Well, I'm not unemployed anymore. I just don't have a start date because government shutdown. So
there it is.
Like, there's that.
There it is. Well, congrats on the job.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Money would be nice. Have $17,000 in debt to take care of. So, okay. From the
Please
top.
sponsor us.
Please. Sponsor. Witcher, obviously, that's a given. Designated Survivor on Netflix. If you're into political, awesome show. Very good.
Which one?
I wish Tom Kirkman was our president, dude. Yeah. Like, you know, politics aside, IRL, like that dude, the way that he acted is like the most presidential motherfucker I've ever seen, and he pulls it off beautifully. Like, holy crap.
I usually hate Kiefer Sutherland too, but he fucking nails it in that series.
Nailed the show. Kiefer Sutherland is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck. As Above, So Below on Netflix. It's a movie. We binged that. It's if you take.
Wait, how do you binge a movie?
Well, this is my binge has been like 4 months. Okay, so I'm just kind of going.
I gotcha.
Like
so that was in your queue of
this,
binges.
Yes, we would watch this like last weekend. Or,
gotcha.
No,
okay.
Yeah, this past weekend. So if you take Blair Witch and mix it with National Treasure or Da Vinci Code, that is As Above, So Below. It is
interesting.
Fucking awesome. It is.
But does it have Nicolas Cage?
I was gonna say
No, fuck.
Okay,
it has a bunch of no-name
good.
people in it, but Lindsay and I really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed it. It was an awesome movie.
Cool.
Containment. It was like a 2016 series, only one season. It wrapped up nicely, in my opinion. At first, I was kind of like, and then by like episode 2, I was like, yeah, I can fuck with this. Really, especially regarding the current COVID situation.
That's why it was trending on Netflix.
Absolutely.
That was
100%, dude.
That was fuck what I already know that was on Hulu. I'm sorry. On HBO was Chernobyl is trending again.
Oh,
Chernobyl. So we watched that for the first time. It was fucking awesome.
So
the
well
people
done.
who made that show are working on another show. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was though.
I believe it's about the Fukushima one this time.
Yeah.
I think it's another reactor like break meltdown series.
Good
shit.
shit.
We're thinking of the same thing, which was the Fukushima one.
I'll be down.
We're thinking about two separate things.
I want to watch that one fucking show. I've been binging something else that I finished as well. The Platform looks awesome. It's number 8 in the top 10 on Netflix. It's not in English. It's dubbed. But it's like a prison that is like up and down, and there's a hole in the middle of each floor where the prisoners stay. And like this food gets like dropped down through this giant hole in each cell, and people just pig out on whatever they need, and then they go crazy. And like you see all this in the trailer, so don't
spoilers.
Don't think I'm spoiling anything. If you watch the trailer, it's all right there. The people go crazy, and then they drop down this hole. They jump down and kill themselves, and the hole is like you can't see the end of it. So it's really an interesting concept of like this prison. I suggest you go see it. Like I'm looking at Netflix website here, and it's literally the first thing on it. It looks fucking really, really cool.
I want to watch the Tiger King too, just because that looks
Tiger King
fucking out there to me. That like I have to find out what the hell it is about.
Yeah, that was.
We went through all the Indiana Jones movies. That was enjoyable. I'm excited
Jesus.
for Ozark. Ozark is going to
Yeah.
be great.
coming-
Season
coming
3 is
back.
coming out. I watched The Gift, which was pretty enjoyable. It's a movie. Has Jason Bateman in it, and it's about like this, him and his family, him and his wife like moved to California, and he bumps into a former classmate who is like kind of weird and creepy. Kind of sounds like typical description there. It was still enjoyable. I'd recommend it. And I think that is really it
That's
for
a
anything.
pretty solid fucking.
It's a pretty
binge,
solid
man.
fucking list. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's more that I've watched since we moved here because I had a lot of downtime in the hotel room.
We watched Joker,
the
too.
Pharmacist was fucking awesome. It's a documentary.
Yes. So good.
Against like the healthcare industry.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a good
medicine
one.
Industry is very, very good.
We're actually watching The
Yeah.
Last Kingdom. I'm binging it with Maddox. We're watching
It's
The
one of my
Last
favorite
Kingdom.
shows. Dog.
Again.
I couldn't get into it.
How many episodes did you watch?
All of
Yeah,
them.
it takes.
So
you couldn't get into it, but
You couldn't
watched
get
all
into
3
it, but you
seasons?
watched all 3 seasons.
But dude, it's one of those things where like if I start a series, unless I think it's like complete dog shit, I will watch it all.
I took it as
Okay.
more like a Game of Thrones, but less
But-
dicks and more fighting.
We watched
Less budget.
I watched like
Well, yeah.
4 or whatever odd seasons of Vikings.
Yep.
Which
Vikings is great.
I think I didn't like The Last Kingdom because it like just felt like a B-list version of Vikings, and I thought Vikings
It kind of is
until it was
described that
spoiled
way.
for me. Spoilers.
The
ruined
timelines
Vikings for me.
kind
I
of
stopped
go
watching.
like hand in hand a little bit for a
Yeah.
for,
There's some of the
for a
characters
while.
are the same, or
Yeah,
are
but
kinda into
Uhtred,
that.
The Last Kingdom is based on novels as well from I want
Yeah.
to say like the 80s or something, and it literally goes through the entire life of Uhtred, son of Uhtred, until he's like in his 80s, like, and he's still a badass. Like, it goes on for a long time. They could honestly make 20 fucking seasons of that show and be just fine on content.
I think the new
Because apparently
season
the novels
though,
are
they're
fantastic.
jumping in time pretty far, like 20 years or something for the
Oh
next
shit, I
season,
didn't know
though.
that.
Yeah, I think I
There's
don't know.
some
for sure.
screenshots that they posted on Reddit to the Last Kingdom subreddit. I'll have to see
If he looks
see
old,
Uhtred and see if he
Yeah.
looks old. Yeah,
might.
that'd be kind of maybe like a little spoiler tick there.
Yeah.
Which I need to get caught up in Vikings. I know they're airing the last season right now. I need to finish Supernatural, even though the past 5 seasons have been dog shit.
I fucking hated
And-
every episode of that show that I ever watched.
Well, I started watching it a long time ago, dude. Like, I was living with Jeff. And so, I mean, 9 years ago, but I watched all of them and then I kept up with it even until it hit like dog shit levels of quality. And then I was like, I've gone this far.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
Right.
invested. You got
Right.
it's a
Yep.
good go to bed show, dude. Kind of like Futurama. It's a good go to bed show.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, at this point, like they're doing the last season. I've watched the first 3-4 episodes, and it's kind of like, dude, I got like
powered through.
I powered through. It's fucking horrible, dude. Like it's so bad. It's a guilty pleasure, man. But like it is kind of painstaking to like go through like this season as the quality of like the
It's-
effects are so bad, and it's like, what were y'all thinking? Like you have like this dedicated, diehard like fandom. They really do. I mean, it's like the biggest fucking circle jerk fandom ever, but it's like on the same level of fandom as Rick and Morty. Okay, like the diehards are as diehard as it fucking gets. But like, and you know they make money because all the merch that they sell to the fandom is substantial.
Right.
And then you have all the shit for the show. But like, your effects are still dog shit. Like, if they would have made it better, just even effect wise, dude, the show would have been much, much, much better, dude. Like, the effects are some of the worst parts of the entire show.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, we're getting kind of close to the end here to our little time limit. We try to keep this about around an hour and a half, so everybody has that fucking perfect little commute round trip. can fucking, we can keep you guys company in your automobiles while you're driving in the rain at 150 an hour, letting Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel.
But
State Farm, not a sponsor.
But anyway, we want to just thank you guys for listening. We love all of you guys, and we appreciate all of the support. Go check us out on Spotify. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Podbean. We'll be on iTunes probably after this episode. By the time, Google Play, all of your favorite podcasting networks. Make sure to like it, share it, follow all the channels, write the comments, write reviews, do all the fucking things, because we just appreciate all that. And also go to myvapebar.com if you vape, or if you have thought about vaping, want to try a healthier lifestyle. Use code TBF35. You get 35% off.
That's a thick PP discount.
That is a thick discount. But not just because their product is good, but their service is amazing. That you can come up and just ask them questions about getting started, what flavors you like. They'll make great recommendations. Just a really good fucking group of dudes over there. So sponsored. but anyway, yeah, we're gonna wind that down. So love you guys very much, and we will see you all next week. All that shit.
Run it, man. Just remember, stay safe.
Wash your hands.
Social distancing. Wash your hands. And shit on my tits. Oh my fucking God! Shit on my tits.